Good evening, Mountaineer Nation. Welcome to the Mountaineer Effect. I'm your host, Marcus Dean. Welcome into the broadcast. We have some great news to report here, folks. Finally, it looks like football is back on the verge of coming back for the 2020 season. We got some great news just released within the last few days. It looks like officially, now this hasn't been made official by the university as of yet, but according to some reports, coaches can return on June the 8th. For the universities, and also student athletes are allowed to come back on June the 15th for voluntary workouts. So that is certainly some good news to report. I'm super excited. Looks like Coach Brown and the staff can get the team back together and we can get the ball rolling again, because this is going to be a special season coming up for the 2020 Mountaineers. Okay, and also some other good news here. Well, let's keep the gravy train of good news rolling here, shall we? It looks like the Mountaineers have picked up 2 more commits for the 2021 class. It's the Take Me Home 21 class here. It's a tight end, was the first announcement here earlier in the week. Traylon Davis, 6'5", 215 pounds, out of Ohio. Really excited about him. He's going to be a really good, great player for the Mountaineers in many years to come. He could be a tight end or wide receiver. I love how we're still going after the Ohio region. We definitely need to keep on that train. Go through Ohio and Kentucky. Those are definitely some fertile grounds for recruiting. And next, we picked up a 3-star defensive lineman out of Buford, Georgia, by the name of Braden Dudley. This gentleman could definitely be a diamond in the rough for us. He could be another Dante Steele for us. He is definitely a good, solid player. 6'5", 260 pounds right now, with room to grow. So I'm super excited about him, that the Mountaineers were able to pick him up as well and get a commitment. So that makes 9 commitments for the class of 21 for the Mountaineers so far. Keeping on the recruiting trail, it looks like WVU has offered, this is from the 22 class, offered a 4-star wide receiver by the name of Jacoby Spells. And he is definitely a big-time player. He has a lot of big powerhouses coming after him. The Clemsons, Alabamas, Penn States are all after his services. And this is really a jump for the Mountaineers in a 22 class. This is something I'm really excited that they're doing. They're going after the big players. They're not scared. They're not scared to battle anybody for these kids. He is the #1 player in the country, according to 247 Sports and Rivals. Shamar Stewart is a 5-star defensive end. He would definitely be a monster program, or what I would call a program changer for the Mountaineers. These players don't come around very often, and if you get a 5-star caliber player on, especially on the defensive line, he could transcend your defense for years to come. I mean, that is a solid pickup if we can land him. I hope we can at least get him to Morgantown for, a visit or two, maybe a camp or two. You never know. Possibilities are endless. And also, another one I'm really excited about, from North Cross High School, James Jackson is planning on visiting WVU after the pandemic is over with, or where their folks be more allowed to travel. He's excited about going up to visit the Mountaineers. He's right here in Roanoke, Virginia, plays his football at North Cross High School, one of the private schools here in Virginia, or here in Roanoke, rather. He is definitely a good solid player, outside linebacker, would definitely fit the Mountaineer role. And definitely some players are, definitely some players to keep a lookout for, as the Mountaineers are starting to gain some steam on the 21 class, and also starting on the 22 class. And coming up in future broadcasts, we will definitely take a look at the Mountaineers season. We'll break down the teams on who they're playing. We'll take a look at the schedule, and we'll talk about that later on in the broadcast. I'm kind of excited about the schedule. It plays out pretty well. I mean, we have a tough last 4 games of the season. It's going to be a tough road there, but we have some very winnable games, and we'll talk about that later on in another broadcast. This is your host, Marcus Dean. You've been listening to the Mountaineer Effect. If you like what you hear, please like and subscribe to the link below. We would definitely love to have you. Tell your friends and families about it. And if we've done a good job, let us know. And if we make any errors, please let us know, because we're big on accuracy. This is Marcus Dean. You're listening to the Mountaineer Effect. Let's go, Mountaineers!